Hey YouTube, it's ItsMeMonchhichi, and this is a contest entry video. Contest is by, I hope I'm saying it right, Vanie0295, and the premise of the contest is that basically you run into another natural on the elevator, and she is frustrated with her hair, and she is going to go and get a relaxer. And what would you say to that person? And what are 5 things that you that I learned on my natural hair journey that would help this person? So I've had this situation happen to me a couple of times, but so if I was in the elevator, if we were in the elevator, it was just me and her, what I would probably do is I would probably put her in a headlock, or put my hands around her neck until she promised that she wasn't going to get the relaxer, and then I would let her go, and then I would probably follow her home or wherever she was going to make sure she didn't do it. That'd probably be my first option. But then if there was a camera on the elevator, that probably wouldn't work, or if there was somebody else on the elevator, that probably wouldn't work. So I think I probably have to resort to option number 2. And that I would probably just try to encourage her to just give it some more time. And then I usually ask the person why did they want to go natural in the first place, what was it that prompted them to do it, and then just kind of try to motivate them along those lines, because whatever it was that got them to do it in the first place, they probably have strayed away from that at some point, or just let their frustration get to them to where they kind of forgot why they did it in the first place. And if they just reminded or start thinking again about why they did it in the first place, a lot of times that just gives the person just the encouragement to just keep going with it. So that's probably what I would say to the person, and just let them know that it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to be frustrated, and that everybody gets frustrated, but you just have to remember why you made the decision in the first place and stick to it, and it'll get better in the end. So 5 things that I would share with that person that I know I have learned is, number 1, like I said, is to find your why. That's my biggest thing whenever I talk to people who are just going natural or interested in being natural, is I ask them why. And if they really kind of don't know, I always tell them, find a why you want to do it, and really sink your feet into why you want to do it, because that will make you strong and make you withstand the frustration and the negativity that you may get from other people. When you know why you're doing something and you have a motivating factor, and that's a really strong motivator, usually nobody can sway you, or nothing can sway you from that. So that's number 1. Find the reason why, a good reason why, and then stick to that. The second advice I give people, even when they're asking my advice on natural hair, is to take it with a grain of salt, because everybody has different experiences, because everybody has different hair. Even if we have a similar hair type, my hair is still not the same as someone else's hair, and so or what I want out of my hair may be different than somebody else. And so while I may think a product or a technique or whatever is great, it may just be great for me, it may just be great for my hair, or what I'm looking for in a product, where somebody else may try the same product, it's not good for their hair texture or their hair length or their what they're looking for in the product, and so they may think the product is crap. So same thing with different techniques and whatnot. You know, it's good to do research. It's so much information and so many different experiences. So it's good to do research, but take it with a grain of salt, and don't get frustrated if you try something and it does not necessarily work for you. Just move on to the next thing. The third thing I would say is patience. You definitely have to be patient. Patience is a virtue, my mother will always tell me, and it applies to natural hair, because usually when you get frustrated, it's usually within that first year, sometimes within the first few months, and you really haven't given it a chance. It's just like anything else that you're trying, you're starting out new. It takes time to develop it, and you have to be patient. I tell people it's like having a baby. You know, it takes time. You don't want it to, if you try to rush it, it's not going to be completed. So it takes time to develop those, for the baby to develop, and you want to take that time. And of course, at a certain point in the pregnancy, you know, when you get frustrated, I don't know, I've never been pregnant, I'm just saying, because I know people that have been, and usually when it gets to like the, when you first get pregnant, you know, after you go through the rough patch, you know, morning sickness and stuff like that, you're really excited, and everything's going great, but then the last month or so, you just ready for that baby to come out. You're tired, your feet swelling, and whatever. You are ready to get that baby out. But at the same time, you know that you don't want the baby to come earlier than it should. You want the baby to fully develop. So you kind of tough it up and you deal with it until boom, till you have the baby, and then it's all good. So it's kind of the same thing with natural hair. You have to be patient and just let it develop into what it's going to be. It takes about a year or so for you to even really see your true texture, because your hair, once you stop relaxing, your hair has to at least grow at least 5 inches, which usually takes about a year or so, for your true texture to show. So if you get frustrated and your hair is only grown out a couple of inches, you're probably getting frustrated for really nothing, because that's not even your true texture, and you just have to give it time. So I would say definitely be patient, and it's okay to take a break if you need to. If you want to just rock a wig, or a sew-in, or braids, or a twist, or kinky twist, or whatever, just to give yourself a break from your hair, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do. You know, just not to go back, because the relaxer is so permanent. Once you do it, you can't go back. So, you know, if your hair is frustrating you, you know, you just need something to get you through the next couple months, it's okay to throw a wig on sometimes. Don't let anybody tell you that if you put a wig on, that means you think you're ugly and you're not accepting your natural beauty. That sometimes that is the issue, and sometimes that has nothing to do with it. Sometimes you're just tired of washing your hair and detangling it or styling it, or you know, you're just tired of doing that, and you just need a break, especially when you're just starting out and you haven't really developed a routine, you haven't really found the products that work for you. It can be frustrating to know that your hair really doesn't look its best, but you have to go out into the world and try to put on a face, and when you know your hair really looks a hot mess, and it really might look a hot mess because you're just learning. And it's okay to, you know, put your hair in protective style, you know, as you're going through the learning process, just so at least you can have that, at least you know, when you walk out the house, you know your hair looks good. Number 4, I would say, is don't go at it alone. It's like the old, you know, thing your parents told you, you know, you never go outside by yourself, you always go with someone else so they can look out for you. So it's the same thing when you're on this natural hair journey. You know, if you try to go at it alone, when you go through that frustration, you're by yourself and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to do something, and sometimes you make a bad decision and then you can't go back. So have at least one person that you can talk to, and if you don't have one person you can talk to, then you definitely can rely on the YouTube community and blogs and vlogs and etc. to just give you the confidence that you need and the support that you need, so you don't make any rash decisions because that day you were frustrated and there was nobody to tell you, hey, you didn't run into me in the elevator. Let's just say you didn't run into me, and next thing you know, you're at the shop and you're getting a relaxer. So don't go at it alone. And number 5, I would say, is that you have to remember that it's a journey and it's not a destination. There's not really an end point. Like, okay, I'm natural and that's the end, close the book. It's not the type of thing, because you're still growing. Your hair is growing and changing, and you're also learning more as you go along the way. I've been natural for 2 years. It'll be 2 years since I big chopped on December 18th. And the things that I do now, as opposed to even 3 months ago, I've changed things, the way I do things. And it's not because I was necessarily doing anything wrong, but as I watch other people, I picked up on things, and that I say, oh, that is an even better way to do what I'm doing now. And so it's always a journey. It's always something you can do better, or a product that may come out that may work even better for your hair. So it's okay to try different things along the journey. Also, as your hair grows, what you do is going to change in different styles you may be able to do, or styles that you really can't do anymore. It's all going to change as your hair grows, as you try different things. So just remember that it's a journey, and that it's okay to make changes. And if you change something, it doesn't mean you're a product junkie. It doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong, but it's a journey and it's a learning process. And so there's really no need to get frustrated, too frustrated. I won't say it's not a need to get frustrated, because everybody gets frustrated when things don't go as you want. So just remember that it's a journey, and there's going to be bumps along the way, but just enjoy the trip, and it'll make it a lot easier, and a lot more fun. So that's my 5 tips, and so I hope you guys enjoy, and I look forward to watching all of the other contest entries. Bye.